Hey, everybody. Welcome to Better Off Red. It is April 25th, what some might say is the perfect date. And like usual, we have the crew here. We've got my good friend Nomos. Nomos is in the house. Nomos Comics.
What's going on?
Man?
Good evening, everybody. How are you, King?
Good evening, brother. Good evening. I'm well. And also, let's get our other guy in here, Viking. What's going on, man?
How are you? I'm doing great. I'm really excited. I'm great. My birthday's last week. I am at the ripe young age of 35 years old now.
Nice. God bless. God bless.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't own enough comic books. So let's talk some comics. Let's talk about reading comics.
That is crazy talk because you can never own enough.
You can never own enough comics.
Never own enough comics.
I feel like I don't own enough. Nope.
It's not possible. And tonight's a special night. It's not only just the night after your birthday, but this is also Dark Horse night. Dark Horse Comics, people.
Dark Horse Comics. Love Dark Horse.
One of the titans in the indie side of our industry. So many big books, so much time spent, between changing the way that we looked at Star Wars for such a long time, back with the Legacy universe and all the stuff that was also happening with Del Rey and the way they were forcing that new way into the future with Star Wars, which was tremendous. I love that until Disney got a hold of it, obviously, and things changed. However, I love that universe. They were doing a great job with that, with the Aliens properties, the Predator properties, with Grendel, with so many different things that we're going to be talking about here in show 2. But Dark Horse has been a major part of our comic book lives. Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like there hasn't, it's very rare that we have an episode where we don't talk about some sort of new #1 that Dark Horse is coming out with. They've always just seemed to be, the last episode, obviously we did with another one of the big indie, if not like the Godfather of all indie books. We did Image, but I wanted to talk about Dark Horse because they've been like, I don't know, a huge part of like the comic library that I own have been a lot of Dark Horse books, including the most obviously Hellboy, which I'm sure we'll talk about tonight. But they've just come out with so much good stuff. They keep consistently coming out with great books to read. I mean, I still buy every single issue of Norse Mythology right now, and it's arguably there's a lot of issues that came out. I am so, but Nomos, what's your experience been with Dark Horse?
Well, for me, you know what? Again, I'm getting into books, and just I would speak about my recent reads with Dark Horse. It'll probably be Last Flight Out, which was a great read for me. It was right up my wheelhouse, and just a lot of adventure, a lot of end of the world apocalypse things going on. Not going to give too much about it, but again, Last Flight Out for me was a great read. I love the story, love the artwork in it. Another one that I read probably before that was Parasomnia, which if I believe was actually picked up. It's being optioned for film, which was a nice crossover between I would say it was like horror and sci-fi. About 6 issues, and it was just 2 dimensions happening at the same time with the same character. But it was a great read as well. It'll be interesting to see how it looks on screen. And even though I know Hellboy has been a huge staple in Dark Horse, I've never gotten around to even reading Hellboy. I think I even showed you guys a slab last week or so where I asked you, I was like, what's this? Is this worth anything?
You had literally no idea what you were holding in your hands until I told you.
Because I actually was going to give it away to the crowd here. So I'm like, what is this?
He was going to give away a Hellboy key. Like Hellboy.
A signed Hellboy key.
A signed Hellboy key.
Yes. Couldn't have made it any crazier. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody.
We restrained him. We put him in a comic book straitjacket for crazy people that you would think don't sell comics. But our guy here, he was being crazy. Hey, what's up, Geek Out with Roscoe? Thanks for making it out. She obviously always here, always a pleasure. We appreciate you making it out. And for those that don't know, we do have a fabulous 4th member who unfortunately couldn't be here this evening. He is sick. Philly Phil is out this evening, but he will be back as he is always, bouncing back. But he will be missing tonight's Dark Horse episode. So keep him in your thoughts. Hope he gets better soon. See him in a week. But on that note, let's talk books. Let's talk books. I think, Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Viking himself. Who should you say goes first?
I'm gonna say, since he mentioned it, let's have Nomos go first. He's kind of the Dark Horse newbie. He can talk about the book that he's most familiar with, and we can give him some recommendations, more stuff to read. So, and I believe you had mentioned The Last Flight Out, and I think that's
that
cover that I pulled for you. Yes,
The Last Flight Out with Mr. Nomos.
Yes, Last Flight Out. For me, it was a great series. Again, the end of the world happening. Humanity has to evacuate Earth, and with like 24 hours left, you got this scientist who's kind of responsible. He's something of a big deal. He's a key person in the survival of everyone else of humanity, and pretty much his daughter is still stuck in I would say a non-safety zone. And he says he refuses to leave Earth without his daughter. So it just jumps into a nice little him and his commandos, I would say something like a SEAL team, go into the worst part of, I want to say Chicago. I want to say Chicago. Not nothing against Viking stuff, but I think Chicago. And they basically the series, the issues just go into pretty much every issue trying to find his daughter, locating her, and then again, there's a huge twist that happens once they find his daughter. I believe in issue 2, but in issue 3 that happens that you don't want to miss out on. The writers are Mark Guggenheim. I think the colorist is Marcelo Costa. Eduardo Ferragato is the artist as well. Beautiful, like just from the coverage you see there. It was a very hype book, spec book when it first came out. Eduardo Ferragato is the artist as well. Beautiful, like just from the coverage you see there. It was just awesome. Like, to me, the book was just great. The series is great, and I would recommend you guys pick it up.
Awesome,
very nice. That's going to be like a trade pickup for me because I have not been picking up the single issues. But from what you've told me, the story does sound really good, and I think it finishes soon, right?
Yeah, I think it might have finished already. To be honest with you, I think it definitely might have finished already. I believe it was up to issue 5.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it ended just a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think it did end already.
Yep.
So you should be seeing a trade paperback coming up soon.
Well, yeah, keep an eye out.
Yeah, I've been looking for the trade paperback on that one as well. I got the first 3 issues. Unfortunately, there's just so many great books that have been coming out recently.
Yeah.
I just kind of have to eventually pick, like, okay, what's trade, what's digital, what's being physically bought each week. It gets a little bit more crazy.
It was 6 issues, just so you guys can know, it was 6 issues.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Any recommendations you guys may have for me by any chance for Dark Horse? Any older stuff I should tap into?
I'll have some recommendations coming up here. But I guess since we're still on the topic of great books that Dark Horse is putting out, Nerd King, you want to go next?
Absolutely. More than happy to. In my case here, which you guys are going to be taking a look at, this is Breakout. So Breakout synopsis is when a massive cube spaceships from another dimension materialize over our cities and routinely abduct teenagers to be held inside their mysterious floating prisons, Liam Watt's younger brother Tommy is taken. But while governments and adults across the world accept this loss as inevitable, Liam refuses to give up hope. Now, in a Take Back the Future anthem, Liam assembles a skilled team of ordinary high school students that can risk it all and pull off the impossible to succeed in this out-of-the-world prison break. So, as far as synopses go, this book, honestly, was probably one of my favorite reads this last week. Breakout did a great job of building on a world. The art is wonderful within it. I really enjoyed the paneling. The paneling at a couple places was just a little bit busy for me to keep up with. But honestly, this entire book with its pacing, its character development, excuse me, whoop, wrong way, sorry. Everything was just really solid. So I can't say enough really about Breakout from this last week, other than it's kind of like a space prison break. It really is. I enjoyed this. The effects, like writing wise, in here were very simple, but the art was very well done. It was packed with great art. I was very impressed with the way it took everything through. I'm interested in the way that these robots seem to actually be from another dimension. So the thing is, these are abducting 12 to 20-year-olds, right? Every single time these cubes come down, like 35 at a time per cube. 200,000 teens and young persons across the world have been abducted. Many people missing, and finally, this one character's younger brother was one of those kids, and he refuses to give up on getting his brother back. His mother's given up on it. All these things have occurred, and unfortunately, in the situation too, other kids that this guy goes to high school with have had losses as well. So he finds pretty much, though, the right person for every single part of this heist-like job. You know, you need your gymnast, you need that safe cracker, you need that chemist, you need that financier. You know, honestly, everybody's got a role. I really enjoyed this book. Breakout was great. I'm going to be very, very upfront. I want you to read it. It was fun. So I'm not going to get into too many details on it. I think at the end of the day, if I could give it anything, this is going to be a 4 out of 5 book for me. I'm going to stick with this for a while. It looks like an ongoing series. I don't see anything in here about, 1 of 5 or 1 of 10 or anything like that. It's interesting. So I want to see where this book goes. But one thing to know is that they do have a plan for getting back on there. And these aren't your regular kinds of extraterrestrial kind of invasion. These are humans from another dimension. Maybe it's the future, maybe it's the past. But hey, man, people suck. Even in other dimensions of Earth, we are still consistently assholes. So that's the good news, right? I mean, there's one constant through all this. We still suck even interdimensionally. So highly recommend. Breakout issue 1, tons of fun. Enjoyed it quite a bit. We've got, just for those that don't know, script by Zach Kaplan, art by Wilton Santos, colors by Jason Wordy, and letters by Jim Campbell. Very, very impressive all the way around. So I can't really give it much better marks than what it's gotten there. If 4 out of 5, it may go up as the series progresses, but I dig it, man.
Nice. Another one that I definitely pre-ordered. I'm glad I did now.
Exactamundo. So that brings us to you, my fine furry friend. Is that correct?
Yeah. I wanted to talk about a book that I was highly interested in because I'm a huge history buff and a true crime buff, and this kind of like fits the mold for both, but it's called The Collector, Unit 731. I'll just read the synopsis that I found. It says, a man can go by many names, and when someone has been around as long as Michael, he can gain more than just a few aliases. Now he's Michael Smith, but back in the 1940s, he went by James. When the obituary for John, whom Michael met during World War II, comes up in the paper, Michael finds himself reflecting on a lifetime he left behind and the horrors and experimentation he, John, and others endured at the infamous Manchuria-based Japanese facility known as Unit 731. If you've never heard of Unit 731, just dip your toe in. Don't jump in like a cannonball. It's gonna, if you're not used to true crime stuff, this is really gonna mess you up a little bit. A lot of what this book, specifically the first treatment they go through, or the torture, I guess, or experimentation, did actually happen, and it involves the demonic plague. So
Nice.
very terrible things. The Japanese military did awful things to prisoners of war in Unit 731, And I thought this was a very interesting kind of like synopsis when I read it, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's like someone that's had a lot of different stories, I guess, to collect over the amount of time that they've been alive. And I've never read anything by Will Conrad or seen anything drawn by him. Or actually, Marco Lesko, I believe, was the artist, but I think Will Conrad still did some of the art stuff on the side. But I would highly recommend this book if you like kind of like horror and history type stuff, because this is just real life horror. And artwork in this book is phenomenal. The writing was really good. It's a quick read. You can read it a couple times. I flew through it, and I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the other ones because I want to know, what else they're going to talk about. But for now, I know they're focusing on what does the plague do to the human body, and it's going to get really messed up really fast. I can already assume it will be. So, but I really enjoy this book. I probably give it like a nice solid 4 out of 5. Good start to like a little mini series. And I just know with the history behind Unit 731, it's just going to get like brutal.
Yeah, so, this was I had the opportunity to read this book too, and I really enjoyed it. It was so far just in the premise of what I know.
Does it sound? It sounds like, is this something that can be optioned, like film?
I mean, yeah, but I don't really know how far they're going to show the stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a very touchy subject, like mentioning Unit 731 to like anyone that knows anything about like what the Japanese did during World War II, and it's rough, man.
The Japanese don't like it, obviously, trying to move forward. The Chinese and the Koreans really hate it. Let alone anybody that was a POW at the time. But I think,
I would honestly say it's better left not optioned. Like, I would say read about it. I don't think anyone wants to see what these experiments look like. I think in a comic format, it's good enough. I really did enjoy this book, just being a huge history buff. So, I would recommend it for sure.
And Viking, you may love that other Dark Horse title that I mentioned, Parasomnia, is written by Colin Bunn. So you may enjoy that one. Yeah,
I love some Colin Bunn. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's in my opinion, The Collector, I enjoyed the start. I'm interested to see where it's going. I'm just coming off of a World War II military comic in Out from AWA Upshot.
Oh yeah.
So for me, I'm catching vibes, right? But that was a German POW in a castle situation. This is a Japanese internment camp for civilians and obviously soldiers and things of the like. So I'm catching some very similaristic vibes. But because I just finished that story, I'm also looking for more, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I'm interested. My interest has been piqued. I'm not as huge on this as I was Breakout, but I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
What was your score that you would give it then for this week, Viking?
Solid start, 5 out of 5. I liked it. It's a quick read. The artwork's beautiful. I love the concept of it. I think that's probably why I gave it such a high score. I've listened to podcasts and read, things about Unit 731, and it's always been kind of fascinating to me, and to see it in a comic format, even if it is a fictional story but based in events of reality, I still enjoyed it. So
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, very happy with it. So
I dig it. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's not a concern about me picking this up more. It's just going to be a question of where it builds in the story development for me.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it 100%, but I'm also still a little lackadaisical because I'm just not that same kind of history aficionado as you are in this case.
Yeah.
But like I said, I do like it, just not as much as Breakout this last week. So I'm gonna give it a 3.75. I'm gonna go 3 3/4. It's really close. It's just not quite for me. So, but yeah, still Great book at the end.
I'm
of the
interested in the history of it, man. I mean, Viking has me like kind of like want to just dig up and just listen to some podcasts or some.
It's pretty dark, dude. It's pretty
I'll
dark.
send you a few podcast episodes.
Yeah,
about,
please do. That's how I love that. I mean, for me, it's just, I mean, although they're not events to be celebrated, but still, like, just to know the backstory of it. I mean, I think it's always a good thing, you know. Just be educated.
Yeah, man. Just to be educated, really, just to know about it, and just I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, that type of stuff is weirdly fascinating because of how macabre it is, and like just knowing that there was a very recent time in history where people just did awful things to each other in the quote unquote name of science. Yeah, man, it's just fascinating to me. I don't know why. I love all that stuff. So,
well, and being a Western nation too, we always focus more on the Western side of those atrocities too. It wasn't something here in the United States that we spent as much attention on as what.
Well, there are things the U.S. has done very questionable and also awful that I can get into, but we could save that for like a whole episode that doesn't pertain to Dark Horse Comics. But those are just 3 books I know that we wanted to kind of talk about and mention. I did compile a couple of the recommendations if anyone was looking for anything good reading material wise. That I'm not sure if you guys have read, but obviously, right off the bat, I love this universe. I feel like it's very highly underrated, but it's Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer, the world of Black Hammer. Now, they've got hardcovers and omnibuses and everything else. This is just the volume 1 cover, so you know what you're looking for. Dark Horse Comics probably has this on their website, as well as access to it via like a digital content if you prefer to read it on iPad or your phone. But Black Hammer is phenomenal. It's one of the best like superhero-ish books I've read in a long time. And I do pick up every single issue of every Black Hammer book that I can get my hands on. Black Hammer 45, Black Hammer Reborn right now. They've done a bunch of other miniseries as well with like Golden Gale and some of the other characters. Barbalian was also a really good one too. But I highly suggest anyone pick this up if you're looking to read a superhero comic that's not of the norm. This is really well written. I like the artwork as well. And when you're looking at the characters, you can kind of like see the inspiration where they come from. A lot of the names, things like that. You're like, oh, that's really kind of goofy and weird, but it fits with the universe. So I just want to recommend off the bat, Black Hammer Volume 1. Pick it up. It's a great book. Have you guys read any Black Hammer?
No, I have not had the opportunity. No,
I have not. I'm looking at it right now.
You should pick it up. Where's another one I wanted to mention? Speaking of Cullen Bunn, Harrow County.
Harrow City. Yep, Harrow County.
Yeah, this is Harrow County Volume 1. If you're into horror comics, I've always recommended Harrow County to people without giving too much away. Cullen Bunn and Tyler Crook's like pairing is just wonderful. The artwork's really, really cool. And the writing by Bunn is top notch on this. There's countless like little spin-offs and one-shots to Harrow County that I would recommend picking up, but this is just the Volume 1 cover. So if you're looking for something to buy at the next con near you or from your LCS or darkhorsecomics.com, pick this one up as well. Cullen Bunn, we've had a good run with some of the books that we've reviewed on here. I know his most recent one was Basilisk, but
last book you'll ever read, I've been updating almost on monthly. So
yeah, that one's been phenomenal as well. Like, but yeah, for our Dark Horse theme night, Harrow County Volume 1, pick that up. It's a really
Harrow County. Wasn't Harrow County also an option for a TV deal as well?
It might have been. I'm not too sure. I don't keep up too much on the Hollywood side of this stuff.
Got it.
But I do know that Tyler, let me see. Tyler Crook is also coming out with a new series as well here soon. And I'm trying to figure
to also answer Dab's question while you're looking that up. We have Demons. We did actually review that just 2 weeks last month. This time last month we reviewed We Have Demons, and that is my favorite, my absolute favorite right now.
Oh, dude, that That series was that number one was so surprisingly good. It was so good. It exceeded any of my expectations for it. But I did find Tyler Crook does have a new Dark Horse book coming out. It's called The Lonesome Hunters. I'm pretty sure it's just about like a pair of older monster hunters. I forgot to get a graphic for it, but pre-order it. I know I pre-ordered it, at least a couple copies of it, just because I always do when it comes to indie books. Number one specifically, but just because of the artwork on Harrow County is the reason that I picked that book up. Tyler Crook. It's called The Lonesome Hunters. Let's check that one out. I know there was also just like, I would say like the big man of Dark Horse. I know that I wanted to recommend as well, which was, I love that cover, which was Hellboy. Have you guys ever read Hellboy at all? Or am I the only person? Okay.
No, have not.
I've gotten through, I haven't read all of it because I've only gotten into it in the last couple of years, but I have read like the first 3 trade paperbacks, I believe. I have a graphic, obviously, for Hellboy Volume 1. If everyone is looking to pick it up, it's Seeds of Destruction or Seed of Destruction. I have a graphic for it if you want to put it up, but it's up to you.
Yeah, and back to Harrow County was picked up by Sci-Fi.
Gotcha. All right. I don't know how many people still watch Sci-Fi. But yeah, Seed of Destruction, Hellboy Volume 1. I would pick this up. I mean, if you're not reading anything by Mike Mignola, or if you've never read anything by him, picking it up just for the artwork alone is worth it. The way that he like plays with shadows, like I would say that's like the biggest strong suit to Mignola's art, is the way that he uses like the negative space to create these drawings and make them just feel like and look like nothing you've ever seen before. Like Mignola's got a very specific style that no one even comes close to matching, and his writing ties into that as well.
Mike, and is he the one that signed my slab?
What's up?
He's the guy that signed my slab.
Yes, Mignola did sign your slab. Yes. But yeah, if you haven't picked up Hellboy, I'd really recommend just pick up the first trade. See if you like it. It's been out for a long time. You can find this anywhere. Just ask your local comic shop. They probably have whatever printing they're on. They probably have this. They might have
keep your eyes out too on New Comic Book Day that's coming soon. Very often shops sell omnibus or trade paperbacks, and they sell them on discount, and they've got stacks of them on tables outside of doors and everything. So these are fantastic opportunities. Or at actual cons, I remember seeing like somebody had like get like 4 trade paperbacks for like $50 or something like that, or $40, or it depends on the day of the week. I think by Sunday it was like get 4 for $35. But it's kind of one of those situations where you can find great books of characters like Hellboy and others in those trades that just open up a whole new world. And Hellboy is a fantastic world. 100%.
It's a great place to start if you just want to jump into like the type of content that Dark Horse puts out there. Hellboy is a really good start for that. Another one I just wanted to mention, this is a real honorable mention. I own this hardcover book. It's written by Neil Gaiman. It's called Norse Mythology. He basically rewrites Norse mythology to the point where it's just easier to read and to take in. And Dark Horse started publishing his Norse Mythology book as just single issue comics. I own like every issue. This is volume 1. I had to pick these hardcovers up because hardcover 1 and 2 are both out. But if you're into mythology at all and you want to see it drawn beautifully and written beautifully, and if you just look at the names on the bottom of that, Mignola is attached to that, Kowalski's on that, Jill Thompson, Dave Stewart. These are all seasoned veterans of comic books, and they've all had their hands in with Norse mythology. And this is just a really fun read. Just read all these ridiculous tales and see them drawn out. It's pretty awesome.
David Mack does some beautiful covers for this too.
Yeah, I have most of Mack's covers. He always does the B covers for these books.
They're beautiful.
But Yeah, and the last one, this is obviously already a Netflix show. It says it on the cover for volume 1. But The Umbrella Academy, the Apocalypse Suite, was the first volume of this book. If you haven't read Umbrella Academy, it is definitely much different than the show. And I've always recommend these books because Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba is just like, in my eyes, a winning duo. Like, I'll pretty much pick up anything that they write and draw. And this is also just a phenomenal like jumping in point to just read some of like the unique stories that Dark Horse has to offer. So Umbrella Academy for sure. Pick that one up. I own all the volumes of that as well. My trade paperback library is a little insane. It's actually,
I can imagine, man.
it's like another like rack like behind me of just books packed away after I moved out of my place. They're still all in storage, but it's a lot. But yeah, those are just some of the honorable mentions. If you guys had any in chat that you guys wanted to bring up or anything like that, let us know. What are some of your favorite reads?
Dab is 100% in on We Have Demons. So I'm very second on that, and as I know you are too. That was a book I can't not speak well enough of. Honestly, I haven't had that much in-depth joy reading since Nice House on the Lake. I read, that was a read. That was you sit down and read book. I think that's what surprised all of us too the most. Like, I thought I would open this up and I would just have like panels, art, few words. Like most big demon books. This was like, oh shit, get up my reading glass. Gotta look right at it, read my way through it. And it was something I actually enjoyed reading a second time because I felt like all of a sudden now I was able to step outside of the words and also pay much more attention to the art on the way through that second time. So it was one of those books that's just, it gets better when you read it a second time.
Yeah.
Blown away. Blown away. So.
Are you guys just like an honest question, does it frustrate you that it's only a 3-issue miniseries?
Not really.
I like a miniseries, especially when it's meaty like that. If it holds consistency like it did for that first one through 3, that's like an amazing feat in comics. Okay. In my opinion.
I agree. I mean, honestly, I'm a little disappointed that's not a continuation. Mainly just because Schneider, I don't know why I had such low expectations going to this, but Scott Schneider has just like this insane talent for world building. And he's done it with like a ton of stuff with like DC Comics and stuff. Like his run on Batman, amazing. But yeah, just like, I don't know why I didn't expect much out of this book when it was Capullo and Schneider. I should have just known immediately that it was going to be amazing. But for some reason, I didn't. But honestly, like just with the amount of like stuff that they jam in to this comic, I hate the fact that it's only 3. But I don't know if this is only approved for 3 or if it's just 3.
Well, the trade paperback is already out, pre-ordered. The 3 issues. So I'm like, hopefully.
I feel like though that might be just also good business in the age that we're in right now of just, you make it a limited series. If it does really well, we expand on that universe. We continue it a different way. Yeah. In my opinion, I'm hopeful that it continues. I'm 100% hopeful it continues. But the one thing I do love about a limited series versus an ongoing is the fact that I'm going to get to an end. Versus with an ongoing series, it is highly likely if it's not doing great, it could just be gone. And I never get that resolution. But at least with 3, I know, you know what? Maybe not everybody else enjoys this as much as I do, but I'm definitely going to get to finish this.
Yeah, you're going to get to end.
Yeah. I think the other thing too, this might just be like the introduction to like a whole bigger world that maybe Schneider and Capullo or maybe Schneider and just other creators want to add into. Because I know that Dark Horse does one thing well, and that's just miniseries and like one shots. but they pertain to a certain world like Hellboy or Black Hammer. And they do those really well, and they're a lot of fun to read, and they don't kill your wallet too much. I like the quality is always there. Dark Horse seems to be doing things, like it's quality over quantity with them. And I appreciate that like a lot. Ongoing series are great, but I'll have to agree with you. I love a good ending, but I'm just irked a little bit because I want to see more of this world. And I hope I don't know. I hope with the very little power that my opinion holds on the internet, that Dark Horse, Scott Schneider, and Greg Capullo would just do one shots or do even little mini series with offshoots. I don't know what else they're going to introduce in this series because the next book is 32 pages. The final one is like a 40 page plus, I think. And I hope they introduce enough just weirdly unique characters, even for like a couple pages or a panel or two, that they could just do an offshoot. They could build some lore to this little
issue 3 is 48 pages.
Nice. Okay.
It's so thick. It's such a good story. At least that they're packing into this too. That might also be why it's so good to me, because I'm one of those guys, like I love a good read. Like I want to sit down with a comic for a half hour to an hour and read. Like if I can get that in a book, that's amazing. You know, usually we get like 5 to 15 minuters. That's usually like the tops, the regular kinds of things. But I do remember when we first sat down with Nice House on the Lake and you had to re-look at every panel. You had to go through the transcript. This was just straight read depth, and it was intriguing. And it was very relatable too. Like there was nothing in there. It's like, oh, why did she react like that? Why'd he do something like that? Everything was well thought out, and I felt like it made sense. It made sense to a common, just run of the mill dude.
Well, you guys are on the right track, because in that synopsis for like issue 3, it says it's the conclusion to the first arc of the story. So we are going to get another mini series. It's the first arc. So
hell yeah.
Round of applause.
You guys were right on the money with that, man.
Love it.
That takes a load off me, honestly, because I knew it was a limited series, but I didn't know it was 3. I forgot. And all of a sudden you just said that, and I was like, don't be surprised. But 3, fuck.
It says the angelic and demonic forces. It says the angelic and demonic forces of the world collide in this show-stopping first arc's finale.
Perfect.
Well, I dig that.
Oh yeah, definitely getting some more.
I'm there for it. All right, up next, are we going to get into the top 5?
Yeah, we'll throw out top 5 in no particular order of 1 to 5. They're just 5 books that we're really looking forward to. And actually, I think I'm starting off with this one.
All right.
First one. I love this book. Ghost Cage #2 comes out. This is, I believe, also only like a 3-part series. But if you like manga and action-packed, like violence and goofy, like writing, this is a really, really good book. I suggest everyone pick this up. I know it doesn't fit in our Dark Horse theme, but trust me, I'm getting there. This is just top 5 comics we're looking forward to this week. Obviously, I'm a broken record with this. Rogue Sun #3. I love the Rogue Sun character. Another Image Comics. Ryan Parrott on this one. Really looking forward to this book. Then we're going to dive a little bit more into Dark Horse here.
Yes, sir.
The British Paranormal Society. I believe this takes place within the world of Hellboy. Yep. So this was, I think this is just a little one shot as well. I'm not too sure. I'd have to look it up. But once I saw this was coming out, I'm like, "Oop, picking that up for sure." This was a Behemoth Comics book. This one has a parental advisory warning on the cover. It's called Vermilion. There's not much of a description I can find online, but it's very adult, and that intrigued me a little bit. So I was like, we'll pick it up. We'll see what it's like.
It's a four-part miniseries, 4 parts.
Is it? Okay. But we have Demons #2, obviously topping it off. I cannot wait for this book. I love this book. I can't wait. I'm so excited for issue 2. Those are my 5 comics I recommend picking up.
I say those are good 5.
right?
That's a good 5.
Yeah, Nomos. What are your 5?
For me, it's going to be I got Bloodstained Teeth image book coming out. Super excited to issue number 1. To check that out, give that a read. Next one up, of course, Sick Tick 22. Man, super excited. If you guys did not read 21, love where the story's going. It still feels fresh. So super excited for issue 22. We're on 22. Back to the Dark Horse team. I am super excited about this one too. Again, not ever reading a Hellboy book, but I love the synopsis of this book, and the covers on it. The covers for it look amazing. I love the art. I love the tone, and super excited to just get into some sort of Hellboy universe story. So I'll be picking up the British Paranormal Society Time Out of One number 1. That's a long title. Of course, man. I'm super excited about this. The Fourth Man number 4. Can't wait to read this. Again, every issue's been giving me a different character. You got Mark Wahlberg in there. You got who's the other guy? Oh, my guy from Billions. What's his name?
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti. You got a bunch of people in here, man. So again, Fourth Man. Super excited to see read issue 4 and see where it goes. I believe this is going to be option. I'm telling you, man, that's a film in just waiting to happen. And lastly, we have Demons 2. We have Demons 2 again, like everyone's been talking about. Amazing book, amazing read. Super excited to get that, pick that up, and see where it goes. Those are my top 5.
Awesome. So that brings it then around to my turn. So for me, in my mind, I've got actually one different one with every single publisher this week. That's not to take anything away from anyone. It's just so much great stuff out there. And Rogue Sun, this is a character introduced to me via Supermassive, and while I always have really collected the Radiant books up until maybe the last couple of issues. I hadn't had the opportunity to really dive into them the way I wanted to. I'd been buying them, but there were so many great books out. It was hard to read them all. So I fell out of reading Radiant Black, and Supermassive pulled me back in. And what really pulled me back is it wasn't just the Radiant Black character that I was familiar with in Supermassive. It was Rogue Sun. I really enjoyed his character in that book. And then issue 1, just hooked. I was in. So Rogue Sun, I am here for it, and I am looking forward to moving through it. Up next, we've got Something is Killing the Children 22. I mean, this is going to be... this and the 3 after it are going to probably be my last single issues of Something is Killing the Children. I'm probably going to start sticking to trade paperbacks afterwards. It's just because I love them. I do. But I don't need the single issues like I used to have to. And when certain characters do happen and those keys do occur, I mean, obviously there's always opportunities to grab at those points. But I'm becoming a reading snob, and I'm also becoming, when it comes to indies, there's so many, and there's so many great stories out there to read. I know I like Something is Killing the Children, but I know every single week I pick it, I'm skipping something else. And I know I'm going to read Something is Killing the Children anyway. So if I get it as a trade paperback at a later time, I'm also getting that instant gratification of getting my entire read. But I'm loving the new series, where we're going since issue 21. I'm digging it, and I'm here for it. So I'm picking that up. That is on the list. AWA Upshot, The Fourth Man, as Nomos was saying, there are so many ways this could go. This has been a great story. I'm actually looking forward to rereading all 3 and this then when it comes out in prior tomorrow. Actually, I've got my books out on my desk, so I can reread the first 3 because I've been enjoying this series, and I've grown to also enjoying like that one book that you're looking forward to very highly. Reading the previous issues the day before always just makes it that much more sweet when you read it the next day because it's all fresh in your mind. Not quite last, but we're getting close to it. We're on the naughty list here with Aftershock. So essentially, somebody steals the naughty list and somebody's going to get their ass kicked. This looks interesting. It is nowhere near Christmas. I am not a huge super duper Christmassy kind of guy, but I just thought the premise sounded cool. And to be honest, like AWA Upshot, Aftershock has not disappointed as of lately. I've been very pleased with that. As far as another indie publisher goes, about consistent, good writing, strong narrative, good character development, and great art too. And plus they're one of the publishers that takes some pride in the kinds of cardstock that they use on their books. So, Marvel, we'll leave everybody's name out of it, and the toilet paper you could be using right now. But this is good. It's bad, dude. It is.
It's real bad.
And last but not least, we have Demons. We've talked about it for probably a lot more than what we've given anybody else attention, even the ones that we didn't read this week. But honestly, we have Demons. I really do think this is a hell of a lot of fun. This was one of the more clear winners to me in my mind this week, as far as things to talk about. Was really coming out, was bright and shining, coming out of Image right now. Not Image, excuse me, out of Dark Horse right now. I'm so sorry, we had Image 2 weeks ago. And I loved the most was her enablement to make the blade come out. She flips him off. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that the way to trigger her blade, I know you haven't had the opportunity at No Mas, but with to trigger her blade, she has to flip it off. So, just to make that blade come out of her arm, it's super dope. That's her trigger finger in this case. So every time she goes into battle, you man, I love it. I love it. It's just it's metal AF. And it's those are my top 5, man. Those are what I'm looking forward to this week.
Nice. Very, very nice.
So, in recent news, we've talked about those things too. Did we have any like honorable mentions that you guys want to bring up that you're interested in about next week as well?
Was Nice House supposed to be this week?
That was last week.
Okay. Yeah, that was last week.
You're getting spoiled by getting your books so damn early all the time. You're just like, you didn't even know what's really coming out.
I'm like, was it next week? I'm asking if I haven't read it yet. That's why I'm like, I haven't read it yet.
I know that we usually don't talk about the big 2, but for me, this is a like a DC heavy week for me. You got the Death of the Justice League with Justice League 75. You got Dark Knights of Steel, which has been a great fantasy series. Batman Beyond the White Knight #2. Rom V Swamp Thing #12. Rogues #2 is coming out. There's a lot of good stuff just from DC that I know I'm going to pick up. Obviously, there's a new Thor from Marvel. Punisher #2. If you're into ultra violence, I am, so I'm picking that up. I don't know what else.
You know what? I'm very surprised and disappointed in you guys that you haven't mentioned.
What? New Burn, Step by Bloody Step?
Saga.
Oh yeah, Saga. No, Saga's always.
That's like an automatic?
Mind. Always.
We haven't gotten to mine yet, man.
I was like, wait. I was like, nobody's mentioned Saga. I know if Philly Phil was here, he'd be like, Saga all day. Saga. Saga Bud.
I'm interested to see where the new one's going, but I'm going to go back to trade paperbacks after issue 59 when we get to 60.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, Philly Phil said Saga 57.
I'm really turning into I'm trying to get better about not buying 50 comics every single week. So
I'm proud of you.
Proud of you.
Yeah. I've got Saga. That's one I do want to pick up. I'm also Batman Beyond the White Knight. I enjoyed that series. I have enjoyed Alien by Marvel. That's been a good one as well. Obviously, Rogues is moving in the right direction. I kind of got bored with New Burn. I'm sorry, guys. So I kind of went away on that one. But, I think when it comes to everything else that's really coming out this week, I've got some Cowboy Bebop. I've enjoyed the Mirka and Dolfo Red Sonja run. I like Draculina with Dynamite coming back. That's been fun to me. You know, I'm kind of a dork like that. But in all honesty, that's kind of probably predictable if you know me. And Harbinger, Harbinger by Valiant. I think I'm still the only person that reads Valiant. And and last but not least, my last final two would be Zombies versus Robots Classic number 2.
I was about to ask you about that. I was like, are you reading that? Because I know that's right up your alley. I was like,
yep, I'm reading that, and The Killer Affairs of the State number 3. Those are my I'm still picking up, but I am not putting them like in my top 5. They're not my top 5, but they are happening.
King, did you ever finish Not All Robots?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, I finished that. I even picked up the trade paperback because I plan on when they revisit or something to that effect, giving that out. I want to, once we get to a couple of different AWAs, I want to give out a couple of different AWA trade paperbacks.
Okay.
So
all right.
Nice.
I'm there for it. It was great. But yeah, otherwise, I do know the Thor trailer dropped this last week.
Yep.
Lots of biz buzz there. I mean, if you were on Twitter, everybody was every male in America was apparently butthurt that it was a girl Thor. That didn't make sense to so many, but that's Twitter. I mean, that's also probably the same stuff as guys.
Are those pictures of? Did you guys see that? Are those pictures of her like posing? Are those like real or Photoshop? But she looks ripped.
No, they probably got Natalie Portman shredded for that role.
Oh yeah. She looked.
She's a committed actress. A lot of people give her shit, but Natalie Portman's a great actress. I don't know if you haven't seen Black Swan, if you haven't seen a lot of she goes like deep, like Christian Bale when he went like, you know, and lost like 80 pounds to then all of a sudden he went to Dick Cheney levels of gaining another 100 pounds, you know. I mean, she goes deep and she looks jacked. I honestly, you know, this isn't Padme. You know, this isn't somebody who needs somebody to rescue her. She's gonna beat the shit out of Gore in this. And there's been some spoilers. It looks like some of the memorabilia that's been put out and on sale has told us a little bit more about what her character arc's going to be, which I kind of hated that I saw it, but you know,
well, don't say anything here.
I'm not saying it because I don't want to perpetuate it. I don't, but I'm excited for it. I love this. I love that book.
What are you more excited for, Doctor Strange or Love and Thunder?
Oh, I'm still more excited for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I have to say Doctor Strange just because it's going to expand things more. I love Thor. The only way that Thor will win this is if they give me like a little bit of Beta Ray Bill. Just give me a little sampling. Give me a little bill.
This is a big month though too coming up. We've got the conclusion of Moon Knight. We've got the launch of Kenobi. We've got a lot of crazy happening. But I am hopeful for what Disney's been working on, and that's the Sons of Midnight. I'm hoping, because Oscar Isaac's not signed on for another series. This has been put in as definitive limited series, so that means they're not going to be making another season of Moon Knight. So, but Oscar Isaac is supposed to be showing up in more places as Moon Knight, and that being the case, I feel like after we got to see our Black Knight, and we got to see that voice appearance of Marshala.
We got to hear our Blade.
I'm hoping it's Blade that shows up at the end or some point of Moon Knight to just be kind of like the Samuel Jackson character of, you know, Nick Fury kind of uniting these characters. I would love to see Blade, and especially a tremendous actor like Marshala Ali, be that kind of character that pulls them all together into the Sons of Midnight thing. That would be, to me, the one thing that really redeems Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's been a little all over the place for me.
Listen, we got 2 episodes left with tomorrow. Well, with Wednesdays.
Yep.
I mean, you guys tell me if you think we're gonna get a
lot of people
demons type ending in 2 episodes.
I feel like, I don't know, it's a lot of people want it to be Werewolf by Night and would feel, I guess, slighted if they didn't get a Werewolf by Night introduction. But I haven't really heard anything about that character. I already know Blade is coming, so I feel like they're just gonna go with Blade. And I'm
so
cool.
we know we're getting the Werewolf by Night.
I want to see what he looks like. And I think it would be rad if they just made Whistler, if they just gave that job to Wesley Snipes.
I wouldn't be mad if they made Wesley Snipes Whistler.
Me
That would be
neither.
kind of cool.
Me neither.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like a tribute.
Yeah, man. That'd be rad.
I am 100% in on and you know that idea. That would be cool to me.
Yeah.
I can say that obviously Werewolf by Night is coming. He's got the Halloween episode. We don't know what's going on beyond that. I just know that it better be Jake Gomez and not any freaking Jack Russell. I want our Native American Werewolf by Night, our new Werewolf by Night. I want that to be the Werewolf by Night. If that's what's going to be what's happening happens, that needs to be the Werewolf by Night that Disney Plus embraces, in my opinion. Not some cliche, whack-ass white dude from back then. Anyways, so yeah, I'm not on that side of things, but I really think Blade would be great. My complaint about Moon Knight right now is I try and be less judgmental about miniseries because that every single time a week goes by, if it was a week last episode, it feels even more distant. If it had a not as strong one still the second time, you're trying to get more exposition and story established.
Yep.
So I know that can go sideways. However, in my mind with Marvel shows to date, WandaVision had the best last episode. The best last episode. We got a great last episode with Loki. That was really close. But in a distant third place is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because there was so much that had to be done so fast.
Yeah.
Because they spent so much time on the fringes dancing around the shit that we knew that they had to get done. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, we've got 15 minutes left of the last episode. Let's just stop Sam's ass getting whipped the entire time, because that drove me nuts too. This is Captain of fucking America. Give him some respect. Don't have him get his butt kicked the entire time. Anyways, then 15 minutes, man. That's all we had for a conclusion of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And that was for characters that were well established, better well established than Wanda, let alone Vision.
Yeah,
Those two together had chemistry, background, multiple movies before the Avengers. Anyways, my thing is with that aspect, I feel like we are running into the same situation with Moon Knight, that we're trying to do too much.
Trying to jam-pack everything in it.
Yeah. I feel like Disney would have been better served to do like an animated origin story kind of thing in advance, you know, maybe with Werewolf by Night. I don't freaking know. I don't freaking care. But something that could have made it a little bit less bonkers. I know we're supposed to be chaos because we've got Steven, we've got Mark, we've got this.
Give me 8 episodes, man. Give me 8 episodes or something.
Yeah, at least give it another episode to feel like I'm going to get there, because I'm really worried that this next episode is going to be spent trying to unite all those personalities, including the one that was still in the sarcophagus, and give us the background on how Harrow has Anubis's powers and is being just so trusted by all the gods to just be like, I can just walk into the room. Hey, do you know anything about this? No, I don't know anything about this. Well, then this guy's wrong. So why could they? I don't get the free pass that Harrow gets through the entire story arc to just be like, nope. And the gods are just like, well, yep. He said no. So, I'm a little sorry.
Just to correct you as well, it's not Anubis, it's Amit.
Amit, sorry.
Amit
the judge?
Yes, is the devourer.
No, Amit's the one at the end. Anubis, though, judges. Or is it Osiris?
This is about Amit. The whole point is
at the end.
Harrow's abilities come from Amit. Amit has granted him these abilities.
But Amit does not judge. She is not the judge. Amit is what gets you. If you've been judged as bad, Amit gets you. Amit gets to consume your soul. Amit's the end, right? The person that judges at the beginning, the reason why he has that cane is an Amit. The cane, the scales, that's supposed to be Anubis, if I remember correctly, in Egyptian lore, who judges you and says, you're good, you get to ascend. You're bad, you go down to Amit. You go down to hell, right? And Amit gets you down there. So that's who I want to know, is where Harrow is getting to skip that god, because there's only 5 of them. We saw a wall of gods, a whole wall of them. So that's my concern at the moment, is just pacing and
there's a lot
answering that question.
There's a lot of deities, obviously, that they showed, because once they had, you know, did what they did to our boy, they put him in that almost like hall of like discarded or trapped gods.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a lot of deities in like every, you know, like I guess pagan religion from, it's over 3,000 years old, I guess. I don't know.
You might see some ties to Love and Thunder, though.
I'm honestly like, I don't think they're gonna do that. But
yeah, I don't think so.
I'm fine with like the amount of meat they've given me with each episode. I feel like it's more than enough for me. Because I never know when the episode's gonna end, because they just pack so much into it. I'm on for every episode. I'm totally fine with it. I'm not gonna feel disappointed at 6 episodes, I don't think. So we'll see in a couple of weeks.
We'll see it next week. It ends.
Yes, next week is the final week.
Next week it ends.
Conclusion. We'll know this week where we're getting. As long as it's not another Falcon and the Winter Soldier pacing wise, I am here for it.
And you know what? It's just like, it's still, I believe the runtime for these next 2 episodes is still almost the same. I think they're like 53 minutes. That's about it. Nothing extra.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, if I saw like an hour and 15 minutes or something, I'm like, okay, great, awesome.
Yeah, they're long episodes, that's for sure. So
I'm hopeful more for Ms. Marvel. I'm hoping more out of Ms. Marvel. I feel like I'm going to have more fun with that. I'm hoping I'm going to have more fun with that.
We'll see.
I need something fun.
Disney loves to drag stuff out. They want all your money.
Well, I mean, they're trying to keep a subscription, and I get that, but right now, I feel like shows like this could be more critically received if they weren't drug out, right? Because all of a sudden you could get that little pause, that little skip of that one wasn't as great of an episode, and not lose those tune-in people, right? To me, I think if you dump the entire series, and they're getting enough now in series and stuff like that, I think they can start to experiment with that, in my opinion. But I mean, if we look at Netflix, who was the king of doing things right all the time, they're losing 22 million viewers.
What happened with that, by the way? Like, I'm sorry for not keeping up. What happened with Netflix? Like,
duplicate IDs for one, and then trying to charge more for it. People unsubscribing because of it, and also Netflix hasn't been dropping a lot of this kind of consistent content that people have to stay tuned for. People know they can just, these 5 new series have dropped. All right, sign up for this month real quick. We'll just power through them all. And, but at the same time too, Netflix hasn't been dropping that much. I mean, besides like Stranger Things coming out soon, what are you looking forward to coming from Netflix?
Ozark this week.
That's this week, right? I mean, that's like
this week.
Right now.
I don't really have anything. I just pop into Netflix and HBO most of the time. I like Disney has just become like the Marvel watching channel. I really don't do a whole lot else with their platform. I wish I could just buy the Marvel portion. I really don't care about the other stuff. Like, it's nice, but it's like I really don't care. I don't care at all. I'm on HBO and Netflix pretty much most of the time. HBO, honestly, is what I'm on most of the time, I think.
Viking, did you watch Batman already at home?
Of course I did.
Of course you did.
Maybe I got a little Batmobile on my computer desk, man. I love that.
I introduced it to my daughter this week, and it was a good time.
It's a great
flick. It is. It is a great movie. Great movie.
Well, guys, I think it was another great night, and it's been a great hour for all those here that joined us. We sincerely appreciate you making it out like you do every single week, every other week on YouTube, and each week. You watch Our Flag Means Death. No, I have not seen it yet, but I want to. I have heard a lot about it.
That show is wonderful. Once you get
that? Where's that at?
Fourth episode. It's on HBO. It's Taika Waititi's show. It's him and Restart. Okay. Two of the funniest movies on this planet. I mean, they're like two of the four funniest Kiwis that I know, I guess.
Have any of you seen The Northman?
Ever seen what?
The Northman.
I saw that this weekend as well. My birthday was last Wednesday, and the only thing to see for my birthday was The Northman. So me and the lady saw it on Saturday, and it is fucking awesome. It's so good. It's really, really good. And from a historical standpoint, it is the most like historically accurate Viking anything that's ever been made. So go out and watch it if you can. If not, I know with the director, a lot of the stuff comes out digitally. I'll probably be buying it on iTunes or Amazon or something digitally, just so I can watch it anytime I want.
Yeah, I'm hearing great things about it.
It'll probably come out within like the next 45 days, if I had to take a guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Hearing great things about it, man.
Well, everybody, thank you for making it out. Guys, thanks for, hanging again like usual every single week. Everybody kind of give a round robin as to where you can be found.
Nomas, go ahead.
You can find me right there, Nomas Comics on Instagram. Also stop by the website. Dropped another Twig exclusive today, www.nomascomics.com. And again, catch the live show every Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go out and support your local comic shop this week. Go pick up some good recommendations that we gave you guys. And look forward to seeing you guys next week on IG for our quick top 5. And back again on YouTube the following week. So thank you so much for the support.
Oh, yeah. We got some other stuff planned as well, YouTube-wise, down the road. You can find me at Viking Comics on Instagram and on Twitter. I will say I'm not the most creative tweeter, but I do retweet a lot of stuff, including these recordings. So if you follow me there and you missed it, I retweet what our wonderful host, One True Nerd King, puts out there on Twitter. And then I also I follow a ton of artists and writers on there. So if you're looking for something cool to read or someone cool to follow, I don't know, hit me up. Slide into my DMs, message me. I like talking to people. Matter of fact, I think I talk too much, so I'm going to shut up now.
Viking, send me those links for that Unit 731 podcast, man.
Yes, I will. I'll text those to you.
And as for myself, I am here almost at 100 subscribers now, guys. We almost hitting 3 digits. Holy crap. I'm on TikTok at almost 250 followers. That just happened out of nowhere. So that's cool.
Nice.
Obviously Instagram. And Twitter. So trying to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of every place, and slowly but surely we're getting there. But appreciate all you guys and appreciate the time spent with us this evening. Thank you for hanging out the entire time. You are a blessing to us, and we appreciate you. And for all of those also here in the chat and watching in the rewind, thank you so much. And we will see you again next week on Instagram and in 2 weeks again back here on YouTube.
Yep.
Thank you so much, everybody. And remember, read your indie comics. Read your comics, period.
Yes.
But read those indies.
They're part of the balanced diet. Read your comics. Read Dark Horse comics.